Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Kelly Pally. So, you guys loved our Young Justice shocking facts so much that we just had to do another list. While we're all waiting in anticipation for the new season to start on Netflix, here's 10 more facts about Young Justice to hold you over. At number 10, we've got Jay Olivia. Meet Jay Olivia, one of the directors of the Young Justice show. While you may be familiar with his name from appearing in the credits, what you may not have known was that he worked as a successful storyboard artist for many of your favorite superhero films, live action and cartoon alike. These include Superman Doomsday, the 2015 Ant-Man, and 2016's Deadpool. He also storyboarded Jackie Chan Adventures, Extreme Ghostbusters, and Stuart Little 3 Call of the Wild. What a resume. But Jay's directing work hasn't gone unnoticed either. He's responsible for the animated adaptation of Frank Miller's Batman The Dark Knight Returns, which received 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and is really damn close to Miller's original artwork. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on Netflix. At 9, we've got ages. While there's been much debate concerning on how old some of the characters in the show are, there are a few ages that we know for certain. Ja'an, aka Martian Manhunter, states that Megan is 48 Earth years old in season 1, and that a Martian year is 1.83 Earth years, which would make her 16, the human biological equivalent. Dick Grayson is roughly between 13 and 14 years old, again based on season 1. Aqualad and Kid Flash are both 16, and Artemis is 15, and Zatanna is 14. Lastly, Superboy is 16 weeks old, although biologically is 16 human years old. And at 8, we've got Jesse McCartney. Do you guys remember Jesse McCartney, the pop star from the early 2000s? Yep, he's one of the voice actors in Young Justice, playing Robin. This isn't the only voice work McCartney has done in recent years. He's also been featured in the Kingdom Hearts series, where he voices both Roxas and Ventus. Another voice actor fact, Superman and Superboy are voiced by the same actor, and by who else but the amazing Nolan North. If you don't know who Nolan North is, prepare to have your mind blown a little bit. He's voiced some of the most famous characters in the past decade, including Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Desmond Miles from Assassin's Creed, Penguin in the Batman Arkham video game franchise, and my personal favorite, David in The Last of Us. He also played Leonard Nimoy in an episode of Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah. Next up, we've got the number 16. The number 16 is referenced a whole slew of times throughout the series. Let's list off a few though. It's set on Earth 16. Superboy was created in 16 weeks and is 16 years old. There are 16 members in the Justice League, and in Young Justice number 0, Kid Flash takes Superboy to a clothing store called Forever 16. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that this Easter egg has much to do with in terms of forwarding the plot or revealing any hidden secrets, but it's still pretty cool. And at number 5, we've got the Flaming Sea. A few years back, Bruce Timm did a segment on Conan O'Brien's show, Conan, where he and Conan created a superhero called the Flaming Sea. The Flaming Sea is basically based on Conan's appearance and was jokingly referred to as DC's next superhero. He continues to pop up as an Easter egg throughout the DC universe though, including the comic Young Justice / Batman, The Brave and the Bold's Super Sampler, where the team is seen watching the Flaming Sea on TV. Number 4. Not just for kids. While we touched on the fact that Young Justice appealed to a much larger audience than kids in our last video, let's talk a little bit about the aspects of the show that made it so appealing to adults. There's an episode that features some psychological trauma for the team, where they play out a wargame scenario during training and are telepathically linked. The whole team is pretty shaken up afterwards and vocally addresses it, which is something that normally wouldn't be brought up in a kid's show. Plus there's a whole lot of diversity being represented on the screen, and while some kids may not make the identification immediately to the characters, it's something adults definitely pick up on. Speaking of diversity, that's our number 3. Let's take a look at a few of the characters whose ethnicity was changed for the show compared to their characters in the comics. Artemis is portrayed as biracial and is half Vietnamese, whereas in the comics she's a Caucasian supervillain. Black Manta appears to be of West African heritage as he has a slight accent and surrounds himself with many tribal masks and artifacts. Garth also resembles his appearance in Teen Titans, where he is dark-skinned with long black hair. Up next, we've got Easter eggs. So here's a few little fun ones for you guys. At the end of the episode Secrets, there's a mention of a magic shop called Abel's House of Secrets. What you probably didn't know is that House of Secrets was the name of one of the mystery horror anthology series published by DC back in 1956 that ran until 1978. It featured a character named Abel who acted as a host for during the second run of the series. House of Secrets was also the series that brought us Swamp Thing, which is also very cool. And finally, at our number 1 spot, we've got continuity problems. There's a ton of little continuity issues that pop up throughout the show, so let's take a look at some of them. In season 2, episode 6, Bloodlines, The red arrow lands in the bell tower. His left hand is bare, but in the next shot it's been covered up by a glove. In Season 1, Episode 9, when Miss Martian is restoring Superboy's memories, there's a memory of her as a cheerleader, but that actually hasn't happened yet since they haven't attended school. And lastly, in Season 1, Episode 5, Schooled, there is a scene in Metropolis where we can see the suspension bridge, and it has 3 towers. But this increases to 4 when Superman arrives on the scene. There's a whole lot more in the show, enough that could practically make a list of its own. Have you guys noticed any? So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this additional 10 facts about Young Justice. Was there anything we missed? Feel free to leave us a comment down below. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.